Hello, everyone. I'm always wondering when it's about to kick in and go live, hence the little do I start, don't I start. Happy Friday. We made it, end of the week. Hope you've all had a really, really good time. Whatever you've been up to, work or family or whatever other bits and bobs has been your week, maybe all the above. I hope it's been good. I think the first half of the week was really a slog and quite difficult for me, but also the end of the week, there's a real sense of satisfaction of all the things that have been achieved and completed. And yeah, kind of looking forward to the break and the rejuvenation, but actually feeling quite sprightly and energized, almost more so than I was on Wednesday, which is always good. So I've decided to do how do you grow a startup as the question. And I've done like 5 points and I've written the 5 points on the description. And now I just hope I can remember what the 5 points are. Now I'm going to deliver them to you. But it was sort of inspired by a couple of things. You've hopefully seen on our socials today that we've announced that Dom Hyams joined the team, which is phenomenal. He's such a talented guy and all-round nice guy. And yeah, it's been a pleasure working with Dom. It's actually been a bit over a month since he started, and it's just been so busy with everything. We haven't had the chance to do the proper announcement that it deserved, and that went out today. And we've also had another article go out in the news written by an amazing journalist called Chris, and it's in a publication called Sifted, it's sort of startup magazine, hence where I was a bit primed and prompted to talk about startups as well. And then the thing about Dom features in a minute in terms of talent is one of my 5 points. So without further ado, my five sort of top tips of how do you grow a startup. I think, let's be honest, there's other tips that are important at different points, and you might have experienced things in different ways if you've got your own startup. But for me, these five are just definitely what I've been experiencing lately, and they feel quite universal as well. So first one, number one, is have a strong vision. And I know that through all of my personal career doing disability rights and inclusion at the charity Scope, then I left in July 2011, coming up 10 years, to be a consultant and an influencer, had a few businesses along the way, and all culminated with where I'm at the moment with Purple Goat. But there's always been a very strong vision, which is very much about a world that's inclusive for all people. Obviously, very much for me, looking at the disability angle. But I was saying to someone yesterday, I'm very acutely aware that inclusion is also not just about disabled people, it's the diversity and inclusion agenda and the other strands. I think I mentioned it yesterday about Bitmojis as well. So it's sort of in general that I believe in inclusion and equity and fairness for all people. But as a disabled person, and knowing that there's 1.3 billion people with a disability globally, there's a lot of work to do it for the disability community. So yeah, for me, very much my vision, my strong vision that propels me. But also, I suppose it's easy for everyone else to understand what I stand for. I talked about values the other day; it all overlaps. They understand my values through that vision statement of wanting, working for an inclusive world. So the power of a really clear, strong vision is definitely a big tip. And it's iterated in terms of the vision was always there from day one, but the ability to articulate it has come over time. So if you're just starting out, don't feel like you've got to force the vision to be some poetic masterpiece. It's just ultimately, yeah, what's the purpose of everything that you're doing, and what's the vision that you're trying to aim for? So the second one is that brand is everything. So when I look at kind of the marketing of Purple Goat and the business development and how we find new clients and work with new businesses, it all comes back to brand. And I think a bit like with values and a bit like with the vision statement, there's absolutely something really, 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 really powerful about the way that the brand is understood. So what is Purple Goat? As an example, obviously, I hope for you're able to use this 5 tips and apply it for your own startup or your own business or your own project or charity even. Like, I think lots of this is applicable to other things as well. But yeah, ultimately, the brand is about your values and beliefs, and even like the colors and the logo. Like it's just that identity of the brand, but of the company. And again, I'd say there's bits that overlap with each other, but I think when you've got that clarity of vision, then you're able to also look at the brand and understand what the beliefs and values are of the business. So that's definitely point number two. I'm considering I've not got them written down in front of me. I'm doing okay so far, I think. So the third one is foundational processes. Now, I have to say this is something that by nature, I guess I've talked a few times to you about being a Virgo and loving things in boxes and labels. So from that perspective, I do like to be quite organized. But some of the processes that we have at Purple Goat are things that I probably were not as strong or as good at historically as an individual consultant or in some of the other businesses. And that's been a massive one, that partnering with the Goat agency and their ops team. Big shout out to Josh and Dan. I've just been phenomenal in helping Purple Goat have the processes. So like as soon as certain things come, like a new client, and then there's obviously, doing like contracts and finances and having all the right tech software that makes everything run and like communicate between the team. Like those processes are really, really important to get right at the very beginning, because then as you scale up, if they're not in place, things are going to be really chaotic and complicated and all over the place, and then things start to fall down. So yeah, number three, foundational processes are massive. And then point four is around talent. So I mentioned about Dom joining about a month ago. And I think I sort of referenced it a little bit in the post that we've done. But ultimately, to be able to scale and deliver value to clients, you have to have the right people. And I think I've talked a few times about, I've got my strengths, and so it's important to have people around me as a co-founder, as a CEO, that complement my weaknesses. So that's one big thing for talent. But even where I'm very good at certain things, when you scale, you can't just have one person doing, like I do a lot of the marketing and business development, but as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, there'll be support for me with the brand marketing and with the business development. And so you need talented people to slot in to help things scale up and grow, even when you have a core competency as an individual. But yeah, and then obviously the other part, you've got, I sometimes look at the kind of, I love football, so forgive the metaphor if you don't like football, but looking at the formation of the team and having the right people in the right position. So who's good at scoring goals, who's good at defending, who's good on the left wing. Like obviously it's not a literal thing for the things that you need in business, but like it's still having that mind map of the different functions in the business and having the right talent in the right places. And then another part of talent, I guess we could speak to culture as well, actually, but my broader point around talent is that you want the ideas of everybody. So you don't just want someone that does a role and that's all they do. You want everyone to come together, as we do on our Monday morning, Friday afternoon meetings at Purple Goat. We update each other, we help each other where we can and where needed and where possible. But also there's just that feeding into the vision and the brand, the stuff we talked about before, is really, really important, that there's enough talent to come with new ideas and disruption and challenge each other in a positive way. So yeah, I think that the talent thing runs in a different number of areas. Marnie's written a couple of things that have already got me chuckling. I'm going to nail out the 5 points and then come to the couple of comments. I think I've been debating whether to bring the comments in the moment, but I'm worried today particularly I might lose my flow with the things I'm going to say. So I'll come back to you in a second, Marnie. But again, you're making me chuckle. So yeah, that was point 4 around talent. And again, there's so many different aspects of how people make the business, right? I mean, the people are the business in the end. And I know that someone I quote a lot, Gary Vaynerchuk, talks about when you're a founder or a CEO, the people don't work for you, you work for the people and the team. And I think for me, I'm realizing that more and more, that I just want to be there, obviously to help lead and to inspire and motivate, but actually, like, it is just to be there whenever the team need anything from me to help them. And I think it's just a vital dynamic that it's I feel like I'm working for the team, and that's another thing around the talent and the people as well. So point 5, we're on to the last one now, and there we go. I've got a brain. Brilliant. I've got a brain fog. I think it was being self-aware, and that just gives me the ability to kind of touch on a few points. I think I said, for me, particularly as a disabled founder, there are times I'm a bit low on energy and my health is not 100%. And so there's a self-awareness for me as an individual not to burn out, because ultimately everything else is going to be in a problematic situation. So there's a self-awareness of health and well-being. There's a self-awareness about the people. So like just trying to be mindful and communicative and self-aware of how other people in the team are doing. There's obviously a self-awareness to the brand and to the vision. So kind of touching on all the previous points, as that self-awareness is really important, because ultimately everything's evolving and changing over time. And so I could have kind of said point 5 is flexibility, which sort of slots under self-awareness. But at the end of the day, if you're a startup and you're trying to grow and scale, you have to be flexible and self-aware of when to be flexible. And I guess also back to the self-awareness point, there are times that you can't be flexible and you have to be very strong in your convictions, because that a particular route is the right way, even if some people don't know it. So there's always balance and checks here. But I think that self-awareness is a really, really important trait, and not just for the founders and CEOs, but for everybody that's working for a startup as well. So they're the 5 points. I just about remembered all 5. I say they're written down on the description already, but hopefully the context to hear was useful. So we've just got a few comments coming from Marnie, which I'll go to, and then we'll wrap. So Marnie says, hey, and then she says, don't know whether this was on purpose or not, but can use GOAT as greatest of all time. So when this eventually is, because it will be, you're all set. No, and that I believe the GOAT agency, that is a massive inspiration of why they're called the GOAT, to do with greatest of all time. I'll double check that with the GOAT founders, but I'm pretty sure I've heard them reference that before. So you're absolutely right. GOAT, greatest of all time, and then purple GOAT as well. It's the greatest of all time in the disability and marketing sector. If you don't like football, think of Beyonce. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. That was what was making me laugh, as you probably well know, Marnie, but for everyone else watching, that's where I started to have a bit of a giggle when I read it before. So my football metaphor can be changed up for a Beyonce metaphor about, okay, ladies, now let's get information. That's phenomenal. I absolutely love that one. And Marnie saying, sorry, I always end up making you laugh and distracting you. But honestly, the more giggles, the better. I think laughter's the best energizer and the best medicine of life. So do not worry about making me laugh on a live stream. It adds to the magic, I think. All right, well, we've done it. We've done the live. I've done the live stream, and we've all managed to watch it. Those that have watched it live and those that are watching it later. I say it was quite inspired by a couple of different events of what we shared on social media today. I'm going to dive off and get a bit of lunch before a few more meetings this afternoon. Got a couple of big pitches we're working on, so fingers crossed on those. As always, have a great Friday afternoon, but most of all, have a really, really cool weekend. And we'll be back again Monday at the blink of an eye for the next episode of our Sibs. All right, take care for now. Bye-bye.